I guess in a nutshell, what happened today? The big question I keep seeing is, did Vic lose?
No, of course not. What happened today is the most likely event that we expected to happen after the hearing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I figured I'd put a bit of light levity at the very beginning of the stream because, Ty and Nick, they're hashtag winning this lawsuit after all 17 claims they had were dismissed. Because, don't worry, having to go through an appeals process puts them in a better position than they were before. That's the clown logic that these jokers want you to buy. Okay. Beyond that, I was hesitant to do this one tonight because I didn't have that much content on it, but the find I found is so pertinent that I had to do it tonight, at least briefly. But before that, I want to get to a couple of things first. First thing I want to get to is the person who sent me the screenshots from Kiwi Farms was someone named Colonel J. Shout out to him. The other thing I wanted to get into is the a minor controversy that happened concerning what was his name? Mad Black Atheist. Apparently, this guy had a complete and total meltdown on Twitter and YouTube, etc. Like he went from he was before this, he was lucid, he was making good points about the case and stuff like that, and then something happened and he just went bananas. My guess is my best guess is honestly that he was basically receiving all kinds of negative feedback, and a bunch of people were mobbing him, which is it's really fucking spurgy, to be perfectly honest, when you're going about saying some ridiculous shit about wanting to shoot people and hurt their families and how your boys in the hood were going to get you. But at the same time, it's a shame because he was making some good points about the Vic case. There's a reason why I mirrored one of his videos there. It wasn't to deride or mock him. It's because he made some good when he was in a good mental frame of mind, he was making some really good points. He put some of these things far better than I could, so go ahead and listen to that video. It'll shed light onto why Vic and Nick are just, and honestly, the people that they surround, the other YouTubers, are basically just taking advantage of Vic Mignogna and making sure that, he remains a good cash cow for them. But aside from that, I don't think it was a good idea. I think it was kind of fucked up what he did. And he ended up deleting all his YouTube videos and his Twitter presence. Now, there is something about that I should also comment on. Nick and his friends, guys like Mr. Medicare, who decide to play defense for the scam artist, will tell you that they did this for the lulz, and they did it because he was doing some fucked up shit that was deserving of it. And they're right, he is deserving of being mocked and ridiculed and stuff like that. But make no mistake, all the people who decide to gang up on him like that, they did it for one reason. He spoke out against Nick Rekieta. You're not allowed to do that. If you do that, you're going to get fucked with. And they'll use whatever angle, legitimate or illegitimate, they can to fuck with you. Because that's how these people operate. They're like the skeptics. They're like a mob. And yeah, I'm lumping Mr. Medicare in that as well, because he fucking knows better, because I sent him all the spurgy shit that Ty Beard has gotten into, that Nick Rekieta has gotten into, all the cunty stuff that he would call out the skeptics for, and he's done nothing about that at all. And you might be saying, well, Jim doesn't have to be your personal army. You're right, he doesn't. He's free to be a hypocrite. He's free to associate with the same types of people that he would otherwise condemn. And in fact, promote their content and help their content by going on their shows and making sure that everyone laps them up. So, yeah, I at the same time though, knowing Jim's track record, once this shit gets stinks too bad for him, once Nick finally becomes uncool, which he will, because he keeps on spurting out, and this lawsuit isn't going anywhere, and he keeps on being wrong and everything, Jim will toss a knife in his back like he always does. So yeah, you can expect that as well. It's the same fucking song and dance from him. And honestly, if you guys want to just go for entertainment, just laugh at him, because yeah, Jim's entertaining. No one's going to take that away from him. But at the same time, though, he's a snake. He's a snake and a liar. So fuck him. But speaking of snakes and liars, that's not why I decided to do the stream tonight. Why I do the stream tonight on is Nikki himself has been consistently saying that he's not Vic Mignogna's lawyer, that he hasn't been representing Vic Mignogna in any capacity in any way or whatsoever. I got proof to the contrary of that. I got him admitting to doing that sort of stuff. I don't know if Vic Mignogna is paying Nick. It doesn't matter to me, because Nick is still serving as a legal consultant of some capacity by advising on the case. And I'll prove it. Because Nick, in his brilliant OPSEC, has decided to make one of his rooms, one of his dumb rooms where he keeps things confidential, accessible by a paywall. I'm not going to show you screenshots this time. This time I'm going to show you directly from the server. Let me get that up real quick. This is going to be a conversation I found May 24th, 2019. Let's just go to that. There we go. This is a little secret room. It's currently called the casting couch because, haha, we got Sabat on something, haha. But truth is, I don't know why they call these LARPy things. But anyway, this is the room where Nick wants kept everything on the down low, doesn't want people to know about. It's like a VIP only access room. I bet Nick didn't think I had access to this, but I do. And if he was smart, he would have figured that out by now. But let's just go through it. Again, this is on May 24th, 2019. This is a month after Nick declared the lawsuit, which, again, he got Ty Beer to represent Vic, and he's in no way a legal lawyer. Oh yeah, that's a lot of fucking bullshit right there. And this is one of the people there saying, I'm having so much trouble keeping silent on the ICU. This is not really important. Later, Nick asks, hey, is anyone here? Some guy said, some guy says, you get a few responses here. And then Nick says, I need some sage counsel from my directors. What's shaking? And then this honk band guy says, it's only gay if the balls touch, because, faggots, why not? Nick says, how pissed off would everyone be if Vic dismissed his case with the intent to refile in September, but for a really good reason? Huh, that's weird. Why is he talking about what Vic would do? I thought that Nick Rekieta was a journalist. I thought he was an objective reporter, just a bystander giving his legal expertise on things and maybe occasionally helping out a guy who was in distress. I didn't think that he was actually going to Vic and actually helping him out with decisions and stuff like that. And what is he doing going to a group of nobodies asking for their advice on this? Does it get better? Of course it gets better. Honk Band says, not gonna lie, I lost interest in the Weebors like a month ago. Snodge says, Honk Band says, but now I'm curious as to the reason. Nick says, this isn't about personal interest. This is about margining the PR aspect of it. PR standing for public relations, of course, because, you gotta maintain good optics and all that, because, Nick's an honest dude. He wouldn't just make the optimal decision based on what people thought about him, would he? No, he'd do the best thing to do for Vic, right? This doxfamous person, let me just click their profile real quick. Whoever this person is says, I wouldn't be pissed. It's what we called in RTS and warfare as a tactical retreat. Snodge says, if there's more laughs and he won't hurt himself, I'm all up for it. Yes, see, this is the priority these people have. They want to be entertained. They don't care if people are getting scammed out of money. They don't care that there's actual stakes involved with this. All they care about is how they can get entertained in the Mickey Mouse Club. That's the reality of it. Honk Band says, I think a lot of the wider pro-Vic public would be unhappy with it if they didn't understand why it was a good idea. I think a lot of the anti-Vic people would interpret it as a loss. Yeah, it's almost like, because remember, Nick is suggesting that they pull out of the lawsuit early in order to refile it. And we'll get to that. Nick says, basically, Texas just passed sweeping reforms to the anti-slap. Honkban says, which might make it even funnier later. And then Nick adds to what he said, it's on the governor's desk right the fuck now. Honkban says, but in the meantime, might reinforce that he has no real case / is actually guilty. Which, Vic admitted to all the shit, so he fucking is. Anthony says, it sounds like it would be an interesting move. Why postpone it? Plus, I have a feeling that there will be backlash from some, and there is going to be a huge wave of the other side saying that he doesn't have anything. See, he is just a coward, yada, yada, yada. Snodge asks, does that help, though? Honkban says, I actually legit don't even care if he's innocent or not. I just want to see the blue-haired dipshits lose, so if this makes them lose harder / funnier, then do it. Oh, look at this. That's a brilliant good look right there. I actually legit, meaning he's serious about this. I actually legit don't care. Don't even care if he's innocent or not. That's brilliant. Great company you're keeping here, your private and your server, Nick, that you're asking for legal and asking for public relations advice. This is a brilliant move. Doximus asks, Doximus says, I'd honestly, though, want to keep this aspect of tortious interference against Ron, since that is pretty much cemented with enough proof. Snodge says, I mean, his case is supposed to be pretty airtight, right? Honkban says, I do wonder about the optics of, hey, everyone, give me $150,000 to support this lawsuit that, LOL, we aren't even doing. I mean, I trust you, but the internet is fickle. GoFundMe would die off, and I don't expect that to pick back up again. Granted, it may be pretty stagnant now, as it is. I think that's the largest implication. Snowban has a point there about the GoFundMe. Honkban says, I would think you've already raised all the money you're going to get. You're going to. Nick says, it basically defeats the anti-slap motion. Oh, remember, guys? Remember when Nick told you that the anti-slap stuff was nothing to worry about? He lied about that. Here he is in private saying that it's defeating that they have to take this really brilliant maneuver of dropping the lawsuit for a few months and then putting it back up again, so that way they can go through an easier anti-slap law. So when Nick said that you could just take the anti-slap laws and stuff like that and then burn it and light it on fire, you waste $10,000. That was a big lie. Once again, Nick caught lying. It's another Monday night. Moving on. Honkman says, so I wouldn't worry about donations drying it up, but people would be mad. And then Nick adds to his previous sentence, through legislation. Again, referring to the bill on the governor's desk that would make the anti-slap law that Nick is currently getting his ass handed to a little less lenient. Remember, this conversation takes place back on May 24th of this year. This is before a lot of this stuff went down. So yeah, Nick was always scared of the TCPA. Always. Since the very beginning of this. At least a month in. Honkban says, and or it would give the other side a wedge to rile people up with. Anthony points up to that one. The other side will go nuts. So remember, guys, this is all about PR for these guys. It's all about how it looks. It's all about public perception. It's not about any kind of truth. It's not about any kind of legitimacy of the case. It's all about, to these guys, how things look, how they come off, and how they can basically make sure that they can stick it to the SJWs and own and trigger them. That's what this is about. Docsmith says, I hate saying it too, but this would energize the other side enough that more voice actors would basically be thrown under the bus, the same way as Vic. Nick says, this doesn't leave this chat for now, please. Hey Nick, hi, how you doing? Anthony says, roger that. Docsmith says, I'd at least recommend the torturous interference to keep going at minimum. Nick says, TI is subject to anti-slap as well. Honkban says, I 100% defer the legal strategy to the lawyer mans. Docsmith says, what the fuck, ... Torturous interference is still words. Honkban says, but I think that unless you could basically just come out and tell everyone that this is why you're doing it, people would balk. Nick says, it's weaker on torturous interference, referring to the anti-slap law. Snodge says, if he did, I think he/you'd have to make that case to wait until September, publicly. Nick says, but if you defeat the possibility of filing the motion, then you defeat the BS. I agree. It'd have to be public. Ty would need to make a statement. Huh, it's not like you'd have any power over that, would you, Nick? Oh boy. Does it get better? It gets better. Honk Band says, if you were public about it, I think that would dampen a lot of the backlash. Nick says, I'm not 100% sure on the legal strategy. I'm still reviewing the bill. Oh, reviewing the bill. Nick, I thought you weren't privy to these financial stuff. I thought the reason you couldn't get into that was because you were not the lawyer here. You were not representing Vic at all. But here you are saying that you're reviewing the bill now, in private, in a place where you ask everyone to remain confidential, which, you know, your OPSEC is pretty shit when all it takes is just a little payment and then people can fucking see it for themselves. So Nick's been lying about not knowing things about what's been being passed financially between this and that person pertaining to the case. That's another thing to keep in mind. Honk Band says, because his supporters, at least the ones who trust you, would be satisfied. Doxfamus says, I'd also recommend possibly having updates along the way monthly. That way people still will see the stuff being done. Honk Band says, and his detractors would grow about it, but they will anyway. And this way his supporters can say, ha, you guys are idiots. You'll get yours in September. Yeah, see, again, they're coming up with gay ops and various strategies. You know, Medicare, this is the kind of person that you decide to go get into bed with, to go ahead and marry yourself to. The kind of people that do the same shit that you complained about, the sneaky types of trickery that you complained about, your other chosen buddies do. It's always ending up this way, and you always wait until all the dust blows over to get involved with any of it. But continuing, Honk Band says, which makes it even funnier, actually. Gotta get in those lulls, guys, because, you know, it's all about feeling good, not actually doing the right thing. Nick says, this was dropped on me this morning as a possibility, so I'm trying to figure it out. Honk Band says, because if you are sitting there saying in June, oh, by the way, yeah, this was dropped on me this morning as a possibility. Meaning this legal strategy that Nick is considering to hand over to Ty and Vic, this was dropped over to him, which means there's a trifecta going on here. Nick is ostensibly, if not actually, Vic's lawyer. This is proof of this. This conversation, these chat logs, they paint the picture, they prove it that Nick is giving Vic legal counsel. There's just no doubt about it. The man has been lying for months and months and months about this, and he's pulled the wool over so many people's eyes. Oh, Normal Korea in the chat says, this is complete autism. Oh, yeah, I just exposed Nick for lying about his role in the court case, and you're saying that's autistic. Yeah, see, this is the problem with the Mickey Mouse Club. The Mickey Mouse Club, I could show video footage of Nick Rekieta murdering a child, and the Mickey Mouse Club would say the kid deserved it. That would literally be their response, because in their eyes, he cannot do anything wrong. Vic Mignogna cannot do anything wrong. Ty Beard cannot do anything wrong. They're always winning. They're always on the right side of history. And anytime that you point out, oh, wait, no, that's not the case. These guys are fucked up and they're robbing you. They're lying to you to get your money. They will pull every dirty trick in the book. Everything they accuse their enemies of doing. Everything that they find morally depraved, etc. Oh, I love this response from Normal Korean. How can he even act as legal counsel if he's in Minnesota and the case is in Texas? Do phones not exist? Does the internet not exist? That is the most dumbest comment I've ever heard. A person asking how people can represent each other legally or give legal counsel in the 21st century. All right, my Amish buddy. I can see why this is all confusing to you and why you're baffled and bewildered that I would be accusing of Nick Rekieta of doing anything wrong. Where was I here? Honk Band says, because if you are sitting there saying in June, we are withdrawing so that 4 months later we can refile, and then all his detractors are like, bok bok chicken, And in September, their anti-slap gets slapped. Funnier than if it's a surprise. Nick says the optics I worry about. Conventions. Poll, pretty ugly little liars, and detractors don't even know what's happening. Doximus says, while I understand some laws partially, I'm going to stick by what the legal counsel knows. You all know more than I when it comes to legal stuff. But flat out, this counsel could hurt Vic going to more cons. Oh, sorry. I misread that. But flat out, this could hurt Vic going to more cons. Nick says, convention's going, oh, wait, he dismisses. Might make it harder to get him back. Hawkman says, I assume that any conventions that have turned on him remain turned on him until either you legal threaten them like you presumably did with Kamehacon or he wins. Nick says, exactly. Oh, boy. Oh. Is Nick admitting that he has the ability to do that, to argue on Vic's behalf to legal professionals at other conventions there? That's what it seems like Nick is saying right there. Although he goes on to say, Kamehacon wasn't threatened. Oh, is that a false alarm? Nah, it's not a false alarm. Nick's an idiot. He keeps spilling more beans here. Honkband says, uh-oh. Oh, huh. Doximus says, I'm going to say it that this will make cons nervous to pull him in if he retracts. Nick responds, I wanted to threaten the living fuck out of them. Let's read that again. I wanted to threaten the living fuck out of Kamehacon. That's what Nick Rekieta just said here. He wants to use the law as his personal cudgel to basically go ahead and grind the SJWs to dust. This is the problem with these types of people. They're all fucking liars. They're all fucking con men, and they're all willing to go ahead and use whatever dirty tactics they can and be secretive about it. And it'll be all sneaky like having a secret little Discord server here that you can just discuss this with your close inner circle that for some reason isn't protected more. If you were smart, Nick, you would have put you would have done a little bit better OPSEC here. I don't get it. Oh wait, no, I do get it. You're a fucking retard. Not as sharp. You're not as smart as you think you are at all. Albert Buckle says, if Vic couldn't have made this lawsuit happen without his GoFundMe, he probably owes it to them some transparency about his legal strategy. Actually, this is correct. Yeah, he does. Nick, you should have listened to this guy. I understand most of them donated so he could pursue his best interest and not just produce legal theater, but leaving some of his backers feeling betrayed for 6 months is a big deal. Nick says, I flat out suggested they sue for anticipatory breach. Let's read that again. I flat out suggested they sue for anticipatory breach. Nick is giving legal advice. This is Nick confessing to giving legal advice to Vic Mignogna and Ty Beard right here. There's just no arguing this. The guy is giving legal counsel to these guys. And he's lying to you when he says he's not. I'm not involved with the case. I'm not involved with what's going on. I'm a reporter. I'm just covering the facts and raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for these guys. This is what this is going on. And it's been going on for a while. And Nick is a damned liar. And the Mickey Mouse Club will deny it. But again, this proves it flat out. No disputing that. And you know what? This could potentially really fuck Nick going forward with everything. I do wonder if it could. There's a very good chance it won't. But at the same time, though, who cares? It proves that Nick lied about so much shit that it's just damning of itself. And since optics is what Nick cares about, I care more about fucking up Nick's... No, let me rephrase that. I care about clarifying Nick's optical illusions with the truth. I want Nick to be exposed as the type of person that he really is. I don't want this to go on as just being a PR, as who can spin the best PR or who can go ahead and push the best agenda, etc. What really needs to happen here is the way that people see Nick should be in the light of the truth, not in this dumb manufactured PR. Like, that's what we're dealing with here. And those who say differently are just... they don't care about the truth. That's the facts of the matter. Although we already knew that for other reasons, but this is just damning. Let me go back to where I was. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, damn, I lost my place. I should stop ranting there for a second, just read the damn transcript. Give me a moment. Okay, I found my place again. Ended that boomer moment. Honkban says, I mean, I'm assuming that the cons are nervous about taking him back either way, so it probably doesn't make this any different. Nick says, but eventually decide to be nice. Then he says, this would be 100% transparent. Either way, it would be transparent. Yeah, again, this is Nick confirming that he was talking back and forth with them, that he was giving legal advice, that it wasn't just like a touch and go sort of thing, like he just said, hey, Ty, I think maybe you should do this. No, he consulted them. That's for sure. Honkman says, if I have any clout, I'm in the top 30 of highest donations, and I say do whatever makes the other side lose the hardest. Oh, isn't hindsight a bitch? Honkman, no refunds. Vic's gonna be paying social justice warriors and Funimation hundreds of thousands of dollars now because you believed Nick. And actually, you were privy right here to his lies, so I don't feel any sympathy for you for being hosed out of all that money. Top 30 highest donations. I wonder if anyone could calculate how much money this guy's put in there. That'd be funny to find out. Doxmus says, I'll say though, Nick, I'd at least say if any conventions hear of voice actors pulling out, make it widely known that Khan should sue for breach to set a precedent, since their pulling out hurts the fans. I think, and then Honkban adds to that, I think that if it is transparent, a lot of the negative fallout is mitigated. Doximus adds, I'd donate more if I wasn't going to Tokyo for a month. Oh man. Again, hindsight is such a bitch. Anthony says, I agree with Salem. I agree with Snowban. Doximus says, Honkband is on the money. Honkband adds, Doximus, I would have donated more if I had known that I wouldn't have been at the top of the leaderboards for long. Doximus says, LOL, this study trip is going to bleed me dry. Nick says, yeah, I'd have Ty on the show and we explain exactly what was happening. But I've still got to check and see if it's the right move. Meaning Nick is calling the shots in this whole thing. Nick, why did you have this conversation here? Why did you leave it up? Why did you delete these messages? Like, dude, what are you doing? You exposed yourself. Anthony says, if it helps, you have a good way to deliver difficult news, and so does Ty. Let me read that again. If it helps, you have a good way to deliver difficult news, and so does Ty. Do you mean like how Nick read the transcripts of Ty's embarrassing court appearance in which he humiliated himself? Yeah, I don't remember that either. I remember Nick glossing over that, lying about what the judge had said, and just moving on. So yeah. Doc Smith says, if I'm fine personally since I understand legal strategy. Oh wait, let me finish this one. I think if you both do a statement or discuss whatever can be discussed, that would help a lot. Doc Smith says, I'm fine personally since I understand legal strategy. No, you don't. If those who don't know the aspects of legal strategy, that will be very vocal. Nick actually could do a show talking about different aspects of legal strategy, any why some routes are taken. Also, would be a very educational vid. Honkban says, like in summary, if you do this, hashtag kick Vic via voice actors and allies will be invigorated. It's not clear to me that they can do much more than they already have, so this might not matter? ? Anti-Vic fans who bother to pay attention to this will be more convinced of his guilt. I think that most anime people aren't paying too much attention to this and have already written him off as another white male's rapist. So this might not matter. And like you say, most fans aren't paying attention to this and don't give a shit. Pro-Vic fans will definitely be upset and feel ripped off. This will lose him support at the margins. An extremely transparent explanation of why this is happening will mitigate a lot of this. I think you've probably gotten all of the money you're going to. So if they bail now, well, you already have the money. Cons will take it as a negative sign. I think all of the cons that we're going to react to this have. I think that Vic's position is try to get invited back, not avoid getting kicked. And while this would make it marginally harder to get invited back, I think his prospects for that were low as it was. Honkman, also as an aside, Nick, we have an anime channel at work and it's very high trafficked. To gauge the crowd, I let it drop that I'm going to some con in Houston to visit a friend, just to see what they would say. A handful of people said, oh, they're hosting that Predator, but most of the people don't give a shit. A lot of people said, oh, Denise is a piece of shit, don't go there. The average opinion of the anime channel is more negative than about Masuri than it was about Vic. I think this is probably representative of anime people. Nick responds, maybe. Because remember the context here. Remember that Nick is asking these people, this private group of Discord fans that he has in this VIP section of his VIP server, about what to do from a PR perspective going forward with the Vic Mignogna case. That's right, Nick calling the shots as to what Vic Mignogna will do. And going ahead and getting consultation from his fans of where he's going ahead and moving this direction. The guy who claims to be an uninvolved journalist, the guy who's just a commentator, who doesn't legally represent Vic Mignogna, that guy, yeah? That guy here is going ahead and making it clear that he's actually giving legal counsel to Vic Mignogna. Way to go, Nick. Way to go. Nick says maybe, and Doximus says, Matsuri is known in Houston, though for having a poorly run convention with several canceled panels without communication, they're canceled. Nick says, it's also a massive, and the city loves it. Doximus says, locally, that's what they're known for. And I agree. Matsuri is one of the largest money makers for the city, especially since both hotels connected to the GRB sold out, if I remember right. Honkman says, basically my point is, this Vic drama has really not penetrated into the mainstream consciousness. Well, it has now. So the impact in the hearts and minds of fans will be lowish. Nick says, thanks for the wisdom, gents. I'll let you know what's up. And I think that's the end of it. Oh, wait, there's a couple more here. And then there's like some approval. All this time, Jamie Marchi dodging service. Now this, she will buy a bunker in the wilderness by September. I'm sure this will have a negative impact on the GoFundMe. Nick says, don't know. Not even sure legislation is that impactful. So ultimately, Nick didn't go ahead and with the strategy. But the reality is, this proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Nick Rekieta is giving Vic and Ty Beard legal counsel, that he's munched and embedded in the case, that he's calling the shots, and that he's networked with them. And he lied about being this journalist guy who's just commenting on things. Yeah, I'm going to make sure this goes to all the right people. I'm going to go ahead and close off the stream. I'm going to go ahead and copy the text. I already have the screenshots of this as well. And these people are just liars. They're just liars, and they're lying for a reason. They're lying to make themselves as popular as possible, and they're lying to go ahead and get as much money as possible. And you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I tell you people that, yeah, this is what's going on, and then everyone's like, oh no, Nick's a good guy. Nick's a really great guy. We should go ahead and just give us more money. No. I mean, to be fair, though, actually, now let's be realistic about this. The only people who are like that is the Mickey Mouse Club. The Mickey Mouse Club and the various people that are just the leftovers of the blood sports community. That's what this is. That's what's doing. That's what's behind driving this. That's what's driving this. Own the libs, trigger the libs, sue the libs. Don't think about what these guys are doing with what they're with all the money and fame they're getting. Don't think about what it is that they're telling people. No. Just let's just do this because I guess it's fun. I guess the dopamine. I guess to paraphrase someone else, the dopamine fix is that good. But realistically, though, there is a large contingent of people that donate to the GoFundMe that are not part of the Mickey Mouse Club, that are not part of this. These people that will do anything to own some SJWs. There is a large contingent of people that donate some money into this, thinking that it was a good faith project, not knowing that Ty and Nick have been friends forever, not knowing that Ty Beard has zero experience in the expertise of law that he's engaging in because he's a state attorney who has never, ever had a day in court until the Vic Mignogna case. And don't know that the most court experience that Nick Rekieta has ever had has been criminal court for low level cases, and that's it. Like, none of this was disclosed. The fact that the TCPA would fuck Vic Mignogna is also not something that was disclosed. None of this. The problem with the Kickstarter is nobody knew what they were getting into by signing up for it. They were sold a song and they were tricked into it that this would be a great idea. And they didn't know what the character of Nick Rekieta. They didn't know his lack of qualifications. They didn't know how scummy and slimy these people are. And how much they lie to people. Lie. And that's just the reality. Also, on top of that, I see someone in the chat saying that I'm doing this for money. I don't make a penny off of this. I don't. I never have made any money off of my YouTube channel, ever. The most I did was put ads on it, and I never saw a dime from that. I don't have ads on it, and I haven't had ads on this channel for years. So anyone accusing me of doing this for money is retarded, because I don't get any money from this. And as other people pointed out, I don't get a lot of views. I don't. So I'm not doing this for fame either. I'm doing this because I have a message to send. And that scares people, because it scares the people that need to push a lie, that need to push this idea that's false. Because all it takes to refute a lie is one person speaking out. Because once one person speaks out, other people look into that and say, yeah, that guy's telling the truth. And other people join, and more people join, and eventually the liars will just crumble into dust, because there will be nothing to gain from going ahead and peddling that bullshit. And that's why a bunch of people from the Mickey Mouse Club are in the chat, spreading more bullshit, hoping it'll stick. But I got news for you. I'm not a mad black atheist. I'm not one of these social justice warrior types. I'm not a quitter. I'm not someone who's afraid of getting their reputation hurt. I'm not anything like that. I'm someone who has been through the thick of it and come out on top. I'm going to do so again. And you know what the best part is? Time's on my side. And on top of time being on my side, I got plenty of cash saved up so I could do lots of other shit to fuck with you guys. And on top of that, I know I'm good. Either way, there's a no-lose condition for this, because your appeals process won't work. It will fail because your leader is a damnable liar who doesn't know what he's doing. All right. You guys have a good night. I got some more stuff to do with these new revelations that I have, with this new intel that I gathered. And you're going to get fucked. I guarantee it. I just want to check something real quick. Oh, wait. Is this for real? Oh, okay. Yeah, by the way, someone finally found out which account I've had in this server. But I got news for you. I already leaked your secrets, you fucking dumb fucks. All right, you guys have a good night. Peace out.